Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Rolka. Thank you for checking out my video. I have been asked many times to make a video on matching pitch. Here's the thing, I haven't done it until now because I couldn't really think about how I wanted to approach it as a subject, because the notion of it as it pertains to vocal teaching I think is a little bit off, which is that if you're focusing on matching pitch, that would then suggest that you are in fact singing out of tune while you're in the process of matching pitch. And it's about being able to predict where the pitch is going to be based upon your sense of relative pitch. That is really the most important part of the equation. That being said, we have to start somewhere with this practice. And so I've decided to split this up into beginning stage matching pitch, intermediate stage matching pitch, and advanced. I bet you saw that coming. Thank you if you've chosen to subscribe. Thanks for being here. I'm not going to dilly-dally any longer. We're going to get right into it. If you are new to vocal training, if you are new to ear training, if you are new to music in general, I would suggest you start with a siren. And you've probably seen other people do these online, the ooh kind of a thing. However, do it in two stages. Ooh, down, up, down, and then ooh. And it doesn't really matter how high or how low you go. You don't have to explore the studio space completely. What we're really doing here is moving an effective amount of air over the vocal fold so that as a new practitioner of these skills, you are getting good phonation. We cannot assume that someone new to all of these practices, or even one of them, has adequate subglottic air pressure or engagement. One might say support, if you like that term, for the voice. And as such, they're not going to be creating pitch in the most productive way. And we want to try and start off as good as we possibly can. We don't want to try to match pitch with a voice that's underpowered or under airflowed or something like that, because you're going to get most of that pitch by squeezing the vocal folds together, and that's going to cause problems later. So, ooh, ooh. Now here's where we start to get a little bit more specific, because obviously you're not going to sing a song like that. You could, maybe. That could be kind of interesting. But most of us want to sing specific pitches, hence why we want to match pitch, or as I would suggest to you, learn to know where those pitches are going to be. And we're going to start with a pitch that's reasonably comfortable for the vocalist with whom you're working. If you're teaching someone, or if you're working on your own, get a piano app. There's like dozens of piano apps on app stores or just on the internet, and plink around a little bit. Find a note that sounds like it's somewhere in the comfortable part of your voice. So for me, that's going to be around here. And what I'm going to try and do is go ooh, ee, and land on that pitch. And I want to have my ear tell me when I am singing that pitch. Try a couple of those. Maybe give yourself a little ear palate cleanser, just to kind of break up any, sort of relative pitch stuff going on, and find another one. E, ooh, e, ooh. You're gonna have to plink on your piano. You don't have to know the notes. It's not, maybe we want to learn that over time, but just to get started here, listen to the sounds. Maybe you find one that's too high. Go a little lower. Lower is left on the piano. Maybe it's a little too low. Go a little higher. Higher is right on the piano. Find one that's comfortable that you can glide into. Once you've gotten pretty good at that, in other words, you can do it 5 times in a row and you get it every time, then add another pitch to it. But here's where you're going to have to expand your interval palette a little bit. For our example, I'm going to show you using an E and a B. These notes are said to be a perfect fifth apart, which is one other way to say that they have 7 semitones between them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One more time. 1 semitone, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And you can count that out anywhere on your piano, digital or IRL in real life, right? So if you're like, oh, but mine's down here, well, count them out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's your perfect pitch, perfect fifth. And what we're going to do is we're going to glide into the lower note, glide back up to the fifth, and back down. Glide around. We want to keep the voice phonating as effectively as we can. You might have to glide to the top pitch and then go down. But it's a rarity for that to happen. It's more common to have to start on the top pitch when you start doing these as staccato notes. And now we're really starting to get specific. If you're new to this whole thing, that engagement that you had when you were gliding around, when we had the siren going down into the pitch, you've got to have that engagement before you start making noise. And when you do, we. Start with we, maybe try you. You. If you find that you're way off basis, but the gliding is still kind of too easy, then play the pitch first. We. And then try to do them together. We. This exercise, frequently, you might want to start at the top if you're struggling with it, but again, the gliding exercise is too easy. We. And there you go. That's a start at least. Intermediate vocalists can already do all the basic stuff, and it behooves us to begin to start to do what I call fill in the blank exercises. And what we are doing is learning to more accurately hear those interstitial notes in the scale as part of a key, so that we're really getting intimately familiar with the scale with Western tonal music. By way of example, here is an E major triad. As an intermediate vocalist, you can hopefully already sing this if you sang it as an arpeggio. We. Now I would challenge you to fill in the missing notes that are between. So in the key of E major, you have F sharp and A. I have specifically not played them because what you're going to do is start at the tonic, the E, we. Now, if you're really uncertain, you can, of course, check your work as you go. We. As you get better at that, play the arpeggio, which is to say a chord, the triad, harmonically, and still sing your scale. You might also challenge yourself by playing the arpeggio or scale in a different octave from where you are. This will require you to figure out where those notes are. You have to hear them internally. So if you play it down here, we, attempt to hear where you are an octave above that pitch. It seems like it would be the same thing. We hear those pitches as being the same note when we play them together. You know, when we play octaves, we know that that's an E and that's an E. Yet to produce the pitch up the octave takes another step, which isn't quite as easy as singing just along with the piano, but is very, very helpful for your ear training, and as such helpful for your ability to hear where that pitch is going to be when you are singing along. Finally, for our advanced vocalists who are wanting to match pitch or work on their intonation, what I'm going to show you is really more of the beginning. It fringes on the advanced intermediate's ability to produce pitch and anticipate where pitches are, their ear training, if you will. But the sky is really the limit. You can explore almost endless avenues of ways to fine-tune your aural skills, and as such fine-tune your ability to hear and understand pitch that you hear when you're listening to music, and also produce it yourself. But to begin with, for our advanced vocalists, where we began with the intermediate playing the chord, here I would suggest you begin by reconstructing your major scale, just up to the fifth and back down. You don't have to go all the way an octave necessarily, or if you wanted to cover all the notes, I would go down to the fifth. So do, re, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do, ti, la, so, do. I went up to so, or the fifth scale degree, and I went down to so. I have switched to solfege. That's more comfortable for me because that's what I practice with. But for those of you that might like to do numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5, 1. Equally, if you don't want to use numerals at all, give yourself a little ear palate cleanser, and then do another one. Do, re, mi, fa, so. You get the idea. As part of that practice, I would also switch to the minor scale. Again, give yourself a little ear palate cleanser there. Do, re, mi, fa, so, fa, mi, re, do, ti, do. I chose to use the raised 7th scale degree as part of the harmonic or melodic minor, but you get the idea. Move over into the minor tonality in order to really start to expand upon your ability to hear and anticipate where these pitches are. Because again, good intonation, good matching of pitch isn't just about hearing the note and being able to sing it. It's about hearing the notes around the note, hearing yours in it, and not only knowing where that note is, but knowing where the notes in the key that you are singing in are as well. This is a critical skill for upper register singing, and especially for those of you that want to go well high into, you know, your falsetto registers or the flageolet area, or even beyond that into whistle tones and things like that. Having good aural skills, an internal aural concept of where the pitches are, is going to be critical in your ability to sing them effectively. And as I say, this is really just the beginning of where you can go with your ear training, vocalizations, and matching of pitch. You could certainly do the scales. You might also do intervals as well. Again, playing only your tonic. So, for example, you might do, say you want to go to mi, mi, do, so, I mean, really, you can challenge yourself as much as you wish in terms of fine-tuning your ear training skills. One item I would suggest to you is that you look at the repertoire that you are singing and evaluate the scale patterns and intervals that are contained therein. And if you find an uncommon interval, and for just the sake of generalization, I would say anything that's larger than a perfect fifth for a vocalist is going to be less common to find in a melodic line. You might work those into your vocalizations. So do some ear training, vocalization, matching pitch practice on those wider intervals. And I hope this helps. Please, if you have any questions, drop them in the comments section. I thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Take really good care of your voices, enjoy singing, and hopefully we'll see you again. Bye.